Well, hello. Welcome, excuse me, this Friday evening to the D. Leonard Hughes Personal Development Institute and show. We're so glad that you tuned in tonight to this show. I have an interesting, informative lecture for you. Why don't you call some folks that's going through some things with their children, knowing how to effectively deal with them, see their lives change, okay? Once again, I am D. Leonard Hughes. This is a personal development platform, and thank God for all of those that are on. This is not a religious or church platform. It's personal development, and I'm so glad to be coming to you on this Friday night. These are exciting times. These are wonderful, not just exciting. And I know, I ain't gonna say I hope, but I know you all had a wonderful week because you're not living from the outside in, but you're living from the inside out. I'm gonna say that again. You're not living from the outside in, you're living from the inside out. Tanisha, hey, my mother, others that's on. I've just got some main patrons and supporters that I mentioned. If I don't mention you, that you're not important. When we're on 5 different platforms, so I can't, my eyes have to be focused on my main screen, and sometimes I skip over and see different comments. Again, you're welcome to comment. I want you to comment. Arcola, everybody, just everybody. My mother, Dolores, she's on. So glad to get. I've got something that's going to help you with your children, some different approach, different perspectives, different perceptions that you can go to reach your babies or to reach your kids. I want to start off. I want you to go get some paper and get some pencil. Write. Always involve yourself with journaling. Write stuff down. When you feel that you got a problem and you feel overwhelmed, write it down. And somehow it gets out of your mind and gets in paper, and you look at it from a different perspective. You look at it much differently. You see what I'm saying? So I want you to get some folks and call and let them know we're on. We're on the D. Leonard Hughes Personal Development Institute and coaching show is on. All right, how to pray over your child and how to prepare them for the real world. You see as my thing, preparing your child for the real world. So much in this. There's so much we're going to unpack and look into. I'm going to give a few. Once again, it's not a church or religious platform, but it is a Christ awareness platform. Isaiah 54:13, all your children shall be taught by the Lord, and great shall be the peace of your children. You think about other mainline denomination, you think about the Catholic Church, and for years, the order they've used to indoctrinate the children into the Catholicism. Not knocking it. I'm just saying the principle they use I like, because they get you in church, then they get you in school, and they wrap their Catholicism around you, which I'm not knocking that. Don't get me wrong. But the idea is they start them young, and you find most, there's some that get reformed or redeemed or coming to a greater awareness. I want to say that. But they're pretty dedicated and committed to their Catholicism, which I'm not knocking. I'm really admonishing and admiring the Catholic Church because they've used that principle of the schools. Back in the day, we built churches and fellowship halls. Other cultures built churches and classrooms. Can I say it again? One culture built church and a fellowship hall to eat. We got to eat. We got to fry some chicken and macaroni and cheese. Wherein other culture people did things much differently in their religious institution years ago, building a church and building a classrooms connected to it. Okay, write these scriptures down because you have to speak. You're not praying to God. You don't have to pray to the God. God is within you. You're not praying to somebody in the sky. You're not trying to get somebody in the sky to teach it, but you're praying from the Christ awareness of who you are and what's already rightfully, covenantly already belong to you. And when you don't know what's yours rightfully, divinely, right, then you know, I was thinking, why do we really get discouraged and frustrated and worried and fearful? It's because we get out of alignment. We begin to look at what we call the 3D world, the outward world. We start looking at that, and we really forget who we are and whose we are. And we find ourselves slipping into a slump because we're looking at the 3D world, which is the outer world, the natural world, even though we're in this world, but we're not of this world. We're of a whole different awareness of the Christ presence within us. Let me tell you, it's not, and people are stuck. They're stuck in their churches. They're stuck in the denomination. Well, this is the way we've done things. He's gone from that. I was telling somebody today, and I don't mean to be religiously talking so much, but it is a Christ awareness, is that we're gone from the church age and we're into the kingdom, and people are still trying to have church. Hate the chant, people still trying to have church, and we're in the kingdom. Now, kingdom come. What is the kingdom? The kingdom is a place of authority. The kingdom is a place of kingship and priest, that when we order a thing, when we say a thing, the universe responds to us because we're speaking as the voice of God in us. Stop separating yourself from a God somewhere way out there. He's in you. The scripture says in 2 Corinthians 13:5, do you not know? And people will hold on to their religion and their traditions and their denominations and will not walk in the word of the authority of the believer. And I was saying something. This is why there's a free fall, and this is why there's a declining in the religious sects, simply because there's a progression, there's a moving, there's a people looking for stuff that's going to resonate with them. They're tired of hearing do's and don't do this. Coming up, they said, don't do this, don't do that. But why? Don't ask why. Just don't do it. That wasn't fair to us. I'm one that have not conformed to the norm, and I'm different, and I'm proud of it. And if it takes that, I'm gonna stick to what I'm doing, which is personal development and getting people to develop. If you don't develop yourself, you're not gonna go anywhere. You're trying to do the same stuff, or you're trying to get somewhere. Hey, Aunt Betty, you're trying to get somewhere with the wrong information in your head. I said a few weeks ago, get out of your head and get into your life. So you have to understand these are wonderful times. These are promising times. These are destiny time. These are purpose time, that you got to be a purpose-driven person. I'm not just talking about in church, but I'm talking about entrepreneurship, in sales, in business endeavor. You got to have an attitude. I did something on my mental wake up, is that I'm never going to give up. Never, never, never give up. Never. I want you to say that with it. Put it in your subconscious. I'll never, 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 ever give up. You know, it has to be. I was talking to one of my clients that in my therapy session today, and I said, there has to be a why. What I'm doing in personal development in my company that I started, this is my why. This is what I get up. One of the main reasons when, I get up for my family, but I'm saying when it comes to career, a purpose, a passion, this is my why. I got some powerful stuff we're going to unpack tonight. We're going to try to get it in within the next 45 minutes. If not, we'll go a few minutes over. But if you do exactly what I tell you, you're going to see results. You know why? I'm seeing manifested results every week. Every week, I'm manifesting. Throughout the day, I'm manifesting. May not be nothing big, but just the little small things, because it's the small things that bother you. So it should be the small things that you see that you're progressing. Look at that. I talked about, there's a great book years ago. You don't hear anything about it now. Stop sweating the small stuff. Stop sweating the small stuff. And, maybe you'll need to go back and get that book, audio book. Stop sweating the small stuff. How many small stuff do you sweat? Come on, somebody, you going to work and somebody pulls in front of you or turns in front of you, your whole day is gone off of that one. And knowing that's a small thing is really not important. I know it irritated you because they pulled in front of you. It irritated you because they ran through, I was going somewhere yesterday. I don't think I went today, yesterday. And the light was green. But divine mind said, wait a second. And I'm glad I waited because the car just shot right through the red light. You don't become some, wonder, but there's a flow. There's a connection. The awareness is that Jesus Christ, taken from being the sky God and knowing that he's in you. And one of the greatest scriptures that said, greater is he that's in you than he that is in the world. Let's get into this house. Everybody that's watching me that got children, you need to stay connected to this webinar so you know how to speak over your child and prepare them for the real world. Another scripture that says, Psalms 127:3, children are a gift from the Lord of the law, they are a reward from him. Psalm 17:6, and parents are the pride of their children. Children love their parents. I watch my daughter so much, and at 60, then you have a 40-year-old, you have to change everything and learn everything and relearn everything. And you have to ask God, hear me, you have to ask him for the wisdom of each one of your children. Lord, give me the wisdom. Spirit, mind, give me the wisdom to deal with each child's personality. Okay? Jeremiah 1:5. This is very important because this helps us understand Roe versus Wade in 1973, the lawsuit that famously led the Supreme Court to ruling on abortion's right. And it started with a lady by the name of Jane Roe, which had been unmarried. She's a pregnant woman. She filed a suit on behalf of herself and others to challenge the Texas abortion laws. A Texas doctor joined Roe lawsuit, arguing that the state abortion laws were too vague for doctors to follow. He had previously been arrested for violating the statute. That time years ago, there was no abortion except if the parent is about to die or something, he can abort the child. So what are you saying? Even I understand Jeremiah 1:5, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. So that means before there's a heartbeat, God knows the baby. But I still feel that a woman should have the liberty, because she have the right, she should have the liberty to make a decision. Am I condoning something? No, I'm not. But I'm saying let folks, if there's a situation, see, we judge people and we don't even know the whole situation because you're judging through those self-righteous religious lens that you have because you picked up years ago, and you religionize everything. And that's why you're not living. You can't manifest being religious. What I'm teaching you is stuff that I'm using. I'm manifesting. I'm seeing myself. I spoke a certain thing for this year, a certain amount of money that I want to make this year. And I'm moving toward it. You've got to learn, first of all, I feel good tonight. That's why I'm rocking. You've got to learn to take responsibility. You will never get anywhere. There's things from the past. There's people from the past that have hurt you, have injured you, or whatever, and they're going on and they're renting free space in your mind and in your emotions. Oh, hear me today. So we dealt with that. Roe versus Wade is a major thing that's going on now. And I still say that I don't condone it, because I know he said, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. So before there's a heartbeat, yes, that child is still known by God. But I still say that a woman should have the liberty, should not be forced by the government, because if you do that, we'll see this in so many. The government wants to come in and wants to step in all of our lives. They got certain cities, got cameras everywhere. There is really no privacy. There's really no privacy. So there's certain things that we have to stand up for. I talked the other week about guns and the gun laws, and people are saying, get rid of the guns. That's not going to solve anything. A murder is a murder. It doesn't matter. Mass murder is a mass murder. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They're still going to do what they're going to do. And that's a part of our rights, the right to bear arm. And I'm going to get into it even with that, with your children. So Janice Walker, glad to have you. You understand that you prepare your child. See, in so many ways, our parents and grandparents did the best they could with what they had to work with. Technology-wise, everything. We have advanced, and we're advancing, technology advancing quickly. AI, IT is advancing quickly, that people are so stuck on problematic stuff that they're missing the real world of joy, peace, happiness, success, health, love, and money. These are the things that's ours. You know, I was looking at something when it says, ask and it shall be given, seeking you shall find, knocking will be open for you. For anyone who asks, receive, and who seeks, find. Now, that word, there's so many, man, let me tell you, y'all got to read and read and read. Don't even take my word for stuff. If I say it, read about it. Educate yourself. This is what personal development means. A lot of things that's going on, it's not people's church fault in the church. And I don't knock against leaders. I love leadership and I believe in leadership, but they got to step out and give the people revelatory knowledge and principles. We was thinking today, I think I was talking to somebody about years ago, you had so many, not years ago, just recently, so many big ministries, this and that, and I've never been impressed by that. I've never been moved by that, even from the religious realm as a traveling speaker, itinerary speaker. I've never been moved by that because I watched the trend of that. Those that's popular for a few years and it fades out. How many churches that we know that were called mega churches with hundreds, with thousands? I asked somebody, where are they now? Where are they? All the hype, all the conferences. Where's all that now? Everywhere you look, social media, a flyer of somebody having a conference and this big name and that big name. And let me tell you one thing, I don't care who don't like it, doesn't matter to me. I don't care. This is why we've seen what we're seeing, because we're no longer the salt of the earth. We've got in a compromising position. And we think that we can do the kingdom this way and that way. You've got to, you watch people that have taught principles that have changed my life. Let me say something. When I went through my struggle, when I went through my battle, let me tell y'all something. Look at me. It wasn't a preacher, wasn't church, because I couldn't find the answers I needed. I hate to say, but I'm being real honest with you. When I went back from years ago to personal development because it deals with going within. This is how my deliverance would come because my prayer was, Lord, I want you to deliver me because I would see the pain and the hurt in my mother's eyes. But I had a bondage. I had a monkey on my shoulder. But personal development caused me to get to the root of the problem. You see what I'm saying? All of that's gone. But sometimes the problem, the hurt, the pain, it finds itself seeping back up. But then you have to deal with it. It was personal development that got me free, that helped me. When I battled with cancer, it was personal development and my awareness of the Christ within me. Because I'm trying to deal with some force outside. There's no force outside of you. The presence of God is there. He's omnipresent. He's everywhere. And we are the highest expression of God. The cat, the dog, the cow, the goat, we are the highest expression of God on planet Earth. Okay, so ask in the Hebrew means to require, demand, claim, or accept. Woo! That's what ask means in the Hebrew original meaning. Y'all thought asking was, please, God, please heal me. Please give me this and please give me that. And I don't blame you. Excuse me. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I blame people that have not gone any further in that revelatory knowledge of God that's doing the same thing over and over and just polishing it up, putting on a new suit, doing this, but it's the same thing. And the people are suffering. And I know people listening, they don't like it, they don't say nothing, but I really don't care. Because if you want to walk in ignorance, that's you. I have been enlightened. I've got the awareness that Christ is in me. That's the joy. He's in me. And I'm conscious of this every single day. People doing everything else outwardly, trying to bring people to God, and they are so far off. God is in you. The scripture says that he's in all and in all. It's just everybody have not been awakened. The scripture says, awake thou that sleep. When you wake up, you realize the Christ present within you. That it's no longer you that live, but that Christ live, and that you have the Christ mind. And it goes on. And this is the awareness that gets you manifestations, not begging. They never taught about what real asking. We think it asking is saying, well, you ask somebody to do something, and we got a little fearful that they may say no. I need to call. I need to ask them something, but they may say no. It's not the same way when it comes to asking with God. Let me say this again. And we have been so far thrown off from truth. We got religion, which makes the power of God of none effect. You can say anything you want to say. The anointing, the miracle power, the healing power of God, if you've got a problem with that, then I wonder, have you really been called to preach? Are you just doing something? Because he said the blind see, the lame walk, the dumb talk. This is what we're supposed to be seeing. And when you're not seeing that, we're not in alignment with the power of God. And we're replacing it with everything else. With this program and that program. And we go from one program to the next program, one church growth conference to the next church growth conference. And at the end of the day, you're not seeing results. You've been hyped. Can I tell you something? You've been bamboozled. You've been hyped up with no truth. You don't even know who you are. You don't even know where your God is. You don't know whether he's up there, in there. You don't know what's going on in your life. You don't know whether it's God or the devil. Whether God or you go back and forth with stuff that's going on. And it's not your fault. They demonize you and devil conscious you until you give the devil more credit than you give the Christ within you. All right, let's get into this speaking over your child. I know I done rather some feathers. That's okay. That's why on my platform, maybe twice a month, I'll allow people to give donations, because it's not about that. It's about hacking your mind. If I can get your mind hacked, you can get the things you want. You can get the things you want. You can look at me. You can have anything you want. You can be anything you want to be. I know you haven't heard that a lot. And you can do whatever you want to do. That's why when you're doing, being, and having, do not talk to the wrong people, because they're going to tell you why you shouldn't, why you couldn't. I tried it and it didn't work. Stay away from them people. You have to, can I really say something? In order to really get in alignment, there are people, family members, this and that you've got to pull away with, because, hey, Victor, hey, man, glad to have you on. Because they're not going where you're going, and their perception of you, even your sisters, your brother, what is their perception of you? How do they really see you? You think they seeing you as this and this? You said, and they thank you, and they talk you out of it, and we keep going to them because we have the fear of not doing stuff. So our mind gravitates us towards the same type of idea of why we can't, because the mind has a safety mechanism in us for all humans, and it's okay, but we have to, because the first thing happens in tragedy, the mind does three things: fight, flight, or freeze. Fight, flight, or freeze. That's what happens, okay? So what you've got to do is focus and realize that Christ is in me. I've said 1 billion times, because that's where the awareness is that there's no separation. The separation is only in thinking. The separation is religion. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians 6:17 that whosoever is united with the Lord is one with him in spirit. Come on, somebody. It's the truth. Why do we want to steal? Because, illiteracy, the greatest illiteracy is not being able to read and write arithmetic. The greatest literacy is not learning, relearning, and unlearning. When I unlearned some stuff, y'all, I started seeing manifestation. When I got out of my religious thinking and church thinking and started thinking kingdom and stopped living a defeated life. Again, asks mean to require. He said, ask and it shall be given. So require it, demand it, claim it. You don't got to believe what I say. Look it up. And when you look it up, take it. Okay. If you got to unlearn something, when I look stuff up and I'm like, okay, so when I really looking to ask, I had to unlearn my definition of ask. Scripturally, now I understand that ask me, that when I demand something, I claim my healing. I claim it. I accept. When I battled with cancer, and I had went to LabCorp. My main doctor just wanted to do basic checkup, and wonderful doctor. She's good. She's an African doctor. Wonderful bedside manner. Just wonderful doctor. And she said, yesterday said, Mr. Hughes, your PSA is below 0.1. Don't tell me that this God, this power that's flowing through us and to us, you just got to know how to get in alignment and let it manifest. Demonstration of the Spirit. We're talking about, people talk about how bad the world is, but the world is bad because the church supposed to be in the kingdom now, and we're out of our position. We are no longer the salt of the earth. It has nothing to do with God. What's going on? The wickedness. It had nothing to do. The hearts of men are wicked. But what it is because we're not in our rightful place. And as the salt of the earth, or the light, and the light is put on, a candle is put on the bushel, all of those scriptures, we're hid. We're hid. And you're afraid to come out because they have messed you up with that sky God. And you're trying to figure out how your prayers and how your believing and how your confession, and honey, you're not praying to God. You're praying from the presence of God that is within you. Well, how is that? How? Because you was taught. They meant well, but it wasn't truth. He knows what you have need of before you ask. Let's get into this. Perhaps you should ask yourself, what do I want? When it comes to believing God for people, Why do I want to change another person? Number one, you cannot change your children. Let's start with that as we unpack this. You cannot change your child. And many times the plan that you have for them is not the plan that they want to go, or the destiny, a purpose. So you have to leave space. You want them to be a doctor. That's not what they want to be. You want them to be a lawyer. That's not what they want to be. You want them to be a teacher. That's not what they want to be. They want to get into beats, making money for. Okay, let them explore. That's why I believe put many different things in the child's vibration, whether it's a little nursing thing, whether it's and find out what they keep gravitating to. Because whatever they're supposed to be, whatever they're supposed to do is within them. You can't think of it. You can't bring everybody with you. So allow your child to believe that old famous scripture, train up a child in the way he should go. And you never depart from it. They may go completely. That person is sitting in prison with a life sentence that was raised in a Christ awareness home. I didn't say religious, because religious could be anything. That the teachings are there, but they went a different direction because of the crowd, because of their perception. This is good. Because of their understanding. Why do you want to change that person? It's a great waste of human energy. This frustrated desire to effort to change other people, to help loved ones to overcome a weakness or heal an illness or resolve conflict, or to make antagonizing cease. Changing other people may well be meddling in their affairs. I've said it's a waste of energy to try to change another, not because people can't change, but because change is a growth process from within the person's own self. They have to want to change. When I was an addict, that's why I couldn't deal with the 12-step program. Hello, I'm Darryl, I'm an addict. I said, that ain't scripture. That ain't faith, that ain't truth. It was personal development that brought me out. But in the midst of this, you see people on drugs, you see alcohol, all that. And we judge them. Oh, they ain't nothing but a crackhead. They ain't nothing but this and that. And you never thought, why? What brought them to that point? Who brought them to that point from a childhood? You have to stop and understand your child. And you have to ask Divine Mind to give you an insight concerning your child. What would have happened to the young man in Buffalo? Somebody's son. What he did was cruel, gruesome. But it was somebody's son that can happen. You don't know what's going on in your child's mind. Hello, somebody. You don't know how many times they've been bullied. And it's, in school, it's a buildup. And if they have in their mind, if I can get a hold of a gun out of you, they had one young man telling the reason I ain't shot up because I can't get a gun. You understand what I'm saying? The same thing that happened in Texas. There's a lot of cover up to it. I don't understand what's going on with that. You don't have any, and a lot of folks drop the ball. And I know in situations like that on the spot, I mean, it's hard to, as I say, make the right decision because, you got kids. The kids was calling 911, help. And the sergeant commander, I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. The verdict is still out, but you know what I'm saying? But that could be no, it can't be my child. I'm sure that's the same thing they said. What are you saying? What are you saying, Darryl? I am saying is that what you've got to do is sit down, spend time. Don't be so caught up in your problems when you get home, you go to bed because you're drowning in your problem. The child knocks on the door. Mama, get in from the door. Get from the door. I just got in from work. Because I said I would have ever seen you all day. And the pride of a child, the scripture says, is his parents. I know I'm the pride of my daughter because the way she said, Daddy, It's amazing. When she was younger, she was just mama, mama, mama. My mother told me that when she get older, she gonna change. Now, yeah, she stays under mama, but she's daddy, 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 daddy. Everywhere I want to go, she want to go, and I take her anywhere she want to go. I take her. I say, when you get older, I'm gonna tell you, want to go out the country. As I take the company out the country, you're going with me. Why? Because I want her to be entrepreneur minded. I'm going to get to some stuff. I'm going to go a few minutes over. And I say that because when you, as long as you're there, I'll keep pouring out information. Okay. Let me say this. Something happened. Not nothing big, just something I was thinking today. And be honest with yourself. Once you start being honest with yourself, yourself will begin to talk to you in truth and realities about things. I'm a musician, piano and organ, old school, years ago. I played 40 years ago, over 40 years ago. And I hear all the young musicians. I said, wow, how do they hear that stuff? And I don't play, I can play a hymn, you know. I said, how do they play all that stuff? And I begin to compare myself. And my spirit mind said, because you stopped practicing. When the last time you practiced chords? Woo! 40 years ago. We sabotage ourselves. We beat ourselves over a negligency that we've done. I said something. Don't allow somebody that haven't planned their life for the day, all of a sudden they call you with an emergency. And now it's an emergency that they want you to respond. That planning, proper planning, could avoid that type of emergency. You got to know how to move and maneuver with people, and don't be afraid to say no. And don't look at me. And don't be afraid to walk away. Okay? One of the greatest scriptures when it comes to your children, Ephesians 6:12, for our battle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the world powers of this darkness, against the spiritual forces. Mass murderers, there's a spiritual force, but it starts with the thought. And people say, well, Dr. Hughes, why do you talk about the mind? Because there's nothing else to talk about. Everything that happens comes out the mind, and it starts with a thought. Then from a thought to a habit, from a habit, it becomes a part of the character. So what are you saying? I'm saying that all of those mass murderers, it started with a thought, and they kept listening. What is faith? What is doubt? It's a thought that you keep thinking, and you begin to believe that it's true. Because fear and faith causes you to believe in something that's invisible. I hope you're with me tonight. Let's keep on. Let's unpack this. Man must learn to believe in that which he does not at the moment see in order to grant himself that which he desires to have. Man's prayers are always answered, for he believes that which he believes that he have already what? Received. Stop trying to fix the problems of others. I want you to write that down. Stop trying to fix, and this is powerful to unpack. You can't fix other folks' problems if their mindset haven't changed. This is why, y'all hear me. My friends, I look at y'all as family. You can't fix folks' problems until you find out what's going on in their thinking. So that means you've got to make yourself more knowledgeable as a parent to help them, because we make decisions, we do stuff, and we make decisions out of our own experiences, and we have new information in our heads. You can't, I don't know whether you get a chance to finish all of this. You can't fix everybody's problem because sometimes they don't really have a problem. There's something in their head. Man, I realize that as a personal development coach and as a Christian psychologist, that most of stuff folks have in their head. I forgot who said it. I had a lot of problems in my life, in my head, and most of them never happened. So you're all involved. You dived. Look at me. Look at me. You dived in to help somebody that they have a perception that is a problem. And you haven't even stopped to analyze what's going on. You just jump in, you all involved, and don't even realize that's not reality. That's their perception of something that's going on. And now they got you involved, and you think, I'm going to help them solve their problem. I'm going to help them solve their problem. People don't want that. When they read, I've got clients, I've got therapy, and I can help folks. There's some folks I'm committed to help, and other folks, and somebody, I picked up a new client today. I told him, I said, well, I usually it's $125 an hour, but I really want to help people. So what I'm doing now is 4 15-minute sessions for $125. And I can guarantee you, if you do, I got to say this in a disclaimer, if you do exactly what I say, you're going to see changes. Because I'm going to get you into you. I'm going to get you out of your, the negative part of your head. You got too much negativity, boo. You can't get nothing, too much negativity. All right. You've got to start seeing your child life change. If you can't see it, praying from the change and you don't see it, you're contradicting yourself. See them delivered. See them set free. See them healed. And sometimes we want to see them to become as religious as we are. They may not get there. Millenniums are not going to, they look different. And there's millenniums that really love God. But I tell folks, the approach is, somebody said something to me, wonderful man of God. He said something, I just listened. I said, oh, God, help us. He was talking about knocking on doors and this and that. It was a time for that. That doesn't work now. People don't want you coming to their house. You don't even see a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses walking the streets like they used. And I live in a good neighborhood here in Jersey, and I got a no soliciting thing on, but I'm just saying you don't see them. That worked for its time. People don't want you knocking on their doors and forcing a religion down them. Do you know Jesus? Excuse me, huh? Well, you need to get him. That's not the approach. Let them know. I had an atheist man I talk about all the time. I talked to him. I said, there's another man living in you. Ain't no other man living in me. I said, yes, it is. What's his name? Jesus Christ. Really? But I thought he was up there. He's in you. He said, well, the way you talk about him, if he's in me, then I need to meet him, because he in me, I need to meet him. Change. No more being an atheist. He said, I was that because I got confused with religion. Everywhere I went, they said something different. You got to get it this way. You got to get it this way. You got to understand this. You got to understand that. You got to know all the political folks in church. The devil with political folks in church in that title. That's what I said. The devil with that. That's not going to get you anywhere. People got a little position and think that's something. That ain't nothing. They gave you position. They give you a position, but you got to pay for it. Oh, God help us. And I'm for, if somebody help you, you bless them. But don't keep putting out and you're not seeing no return. And only people getting fat is the ones at the top getting fat. I just got in trouble with that one. I love getting in trouble because I don't conform. I refuse to. If I don't have a friend in the world, I am going to stand for truth and get people out of their head and out of religion and walking into abundant life. I tell you all the time, the way God dealt with it, and people don't know this. This is great theologians. That's why I don't get into theologian stuff, because most of them don't know the devil they're talking about. They say we're born in Satan iniquity. No. We were born and created in the image and likeness of God. I'm not going to say that. I don't believe that. Make your kids, see, they want something to pacify you now. Don't revel on feathers. Just preach something to pacify me. There's no substance in that. People just sitting in church Sunday, just looking. Sunday after Sunday, looking all around. The same formality, the same thing. That would drive me crazy. I couldn't do it. I got to be where there's wisdom, there's knowledge. I got to be where there's people that's becoming entrepreneurs. Not just sitting and talk. You've been talking 20 years what God gonna do and don't even know it's already done. Not through yet. Stay with me. Make your kids read daily and learn. Teach your kids read. Read. I'm going to unpack something in a minute. School, I'm getting ahead of myself, but you got to hear what I got to say. Don't you go anywhere. Don't you go nowhere. Go to parent-teacher conferences. Well, I just be so tired when I get on. Well, you know what? That's your fault because you're not trying to get multiple streams of income. You working that job and working that job and working that job, and you just tired. You ain't enjoying life. That would drive me crazy. I got to enjoy life. I mean, it doesn't take a whole bunch of money to enjoy life if that's what your problem is. Go to the beach. We've been sitting outside in the yard and playing with Ashley, and my wife said, I feel so much better being out. And I said, I do too. Why do you stay in your house? Go to the beach. Don't cost nothing to go to the beach, sit by the water, walk on the beach. But I ain't got nobody. I'm going to cover some of that too tonight. I ain't got nobody. You don't need nobody to enjoy life. All you need is you. You need you and a made-up mind you to enjoy your life. If he send you somebody, fine. If he don't, until then, you enjoy you. You do you. If a rascal come around, that's fine. If he not, y'all get that out your mind. Your life is on hold. Hey, Ruth, you're stuck because you're waiting and you're trying to change somebody. You cannot change people. That change has to be within. And this is what we battle with because people don't change. They don't fit that pattern or that perception, religious perception of running around the church and doing flips and you're trying to come on, you got to come to church and leave them alone. Leave people alone. Let them come into the realization and awareness of the Christ within them the same way you did. And some of y'all still haven't came in. You think he's a sky god somewhere. And 2 Corinthians 13:5 said, don't you know that Jesus Christ lives within you? I keep saying that because that's my mission, to let folks know, take him out the sky and he's in you. As Reverend Knight used to say, you don't have to have no pie in the sky. You can have it right here. It's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And one scripture said, all things are yours. It's yours. All right. Attend teacher conferences. I got a lot of stuff. Y'all stay with me. I got a lot of stuff. Don't go nowhere. You cannot force yourself to stop thoughts. You have to talk to your child about what's going on in their head. They don't know. And many times you have to get help for a loved one. Nothing wrong with therapy. I am a therapist. I love helping people. I'm committed to mental health. And I found these 40-some years, I found out that most insane people of mental health people are in church. I'm serious. What is insanity? You know it. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Nothing gonna change till you change. God can't change a person until they want to change. You can force them. When I was bound, I had to want to be free, and I got free. Not for nobody else, not for my mother. Didn't have a wife back then. I got free for me because I realized there was a purpose. Those that are watching tonight, there's purpose in you. This is what I do. This is why I said, Victor, I'm going to have to start. I do include you. I'm sorry, buddy. I do include. I'm sorry. I apologize. We don't use the word sorry in personal development. Look up the definition of sorry. That's not you. That's not me. So we say, I apologize. You have to look up word meaning because words have spirits that goes with it. Words have power. Okay? Change is hard, and they may need outside motivation to keep going. Depending on the major life change they could need to accountable. Sometimes need accountability partner. You may not be the one that's going to reach your child. You may not be the one. One man plants, another waters. God gives the increase. One man plants, another waters, and God gives the increase. You've done your part. Now they're gone. School, college, it's okay. You trust God. You trust him. God, I trust you with my babies. Whoever they are in school or in the streets, that girl in the streets, You keep visualizing and imagine her life change. If she can't see a changed life, you see it for her. And you don't treat her as an addict. You don't treat her like a prostitute. You don't treat her like, as they say, a trick. You treat her as you want her to become. If you're a mother, you got a daughter. Sometimes it's conflict with daughters and daughters. So what you got to do is seek the wisdom in dealing with your child. Say, let's go eat. Don't fuss. Don't do that. That turns people off and shuts them down. Well, just read your Bible. I had to tell somebody how to go to the bathroom is not in the Bible. How to cook chicken is not in the Bible. You don't tell people that because there's a root situation that has to be dealt with many times psychologically. Sometimes there's a therapy that's needed. So don't snap at folks. Listen, if a person say, I'm dealing with suicide. What are you dealing with suicide for? What, you going crazy or something? How dare you do that? How dare you? Somebody comes and I'm dealing with suicide thoughts. You stop everything and listen. And as you listen, you're going to see what the problem is. You're going to see when you listen to your kids. Make sure there's no suicide. Make sure they're not bullied. Because when you find your child coming in and going straight to their room and staying there all evening, something's wrong. And I don't mean you bust in. What's wrong? And get out. Oh, so go sit down and talk. Either get them out of that environment into a more relaxed environment. Take them to a wonderful restaurant and say, well, how you doing? Let's talk. Let me say this. I want to get into the meat of what I want to share. Okay. You got to we want our kids to go to college, school. But you got to keep in your mind, that's not going to make them wealthy. And what they need to learn, they won't learn it in school. School's not designed to teach you how to live. School's not designed to teach you about life. One of the greatest subjects I took, but I ain't learned too much from it. I was into music. Was home economics. Whatever happened to home economics? Y'all remember that? What happened to home economics? What happened to teaching you how to type? But home economics taught you how to cook. I'm going to be real with you because you know what I'm saying, y'all, we family. You want a husband. You can't cook, boo. While you're single, explore recipes. I can't, you get married, you can't even fry my egg. But baby, I want a porch egg. I want eggs. I don't know how to cook that now. Why you don't? Why you're single, you should be preparing yourself and doing you and creating businesses and multiple strings of income. I told somebody, this is why we can't just push jobs down our children. We have to outdoor the businesses that we have, my wife and I, that we have, and they're doing very well. My company, personal development, is doing very well. Very well. We tell my daughter, Deshanta, we tell her, these are your businesses. Short-term lease, and we have a client in one of the properties, a client next to me, I'm not a client, I'm thinking about therapy, a guest next door. We tell her, Ashley, that's your business. Not so loud because you got guests over there. Okay, Daddy. Why? Because I'm planting the seed of entrepreneurship. I will not plant a seed in her mind that you're going to have to work. You have to get a job. First of all, you have to teach them that you're going to be the employer, not the employee. I always say, go to McDonald's. You're not going to see an Asian. You're not going to see an African descendant. You're not going to see a Hawaiian, at Burger King or McDonald's. Because they're not taught. Their mindset. They're taught when you come over here, you go over there to America, because most millionaires are immigrants, a son of immigrants that came over here and they took advantage of the American way. And this is why they come and look down on us and toot their nose up at us. And most of them, I don't even blame them. You know why? Because they come over here and opportunities we've had, we don't take them. We don't take them. They come over here from China, from Africa, and they look up the IT and AI. Look at the Silicon Valley. You have Americans. We have a lot of immigrants and foreigners that's out there that's doing it. Do you not know? You got to wake up. You in your own little church religious circle, you think that's it. Because the preacher wants you to think this is it. And it's not. It's a big world out there. I was looking at today the national wonders of the natural wonders of the world. Just look at 20 of them, just looking. And I said, it's a big world. We're fighting over small stuff. We're trying to bring God and put him in a little matchbox. Okay. Going to college is no guarantee that it would pay the bill. I'm not knocking college, but what I'm saying is teach your child multiple streams of income. It's summertime. I wish Ashley was older. I'll put a candy apple stand outside, put a lemonade stand outside, put a freeze pop stand outside. This is how you get them involved. Most of you don't even have time. When the last time you took them somewhere? Just took them somewhere. Get in the car, we're going somewhere. Not you tense and they're tense and you're tense and the whole house tense and you can't even go nowhere and enjoy it because everybody tense. Whoa, this is good. The problem is that people that attend college with the mentality that they are going to find a dream job and make a lot of money once they graduate. People need to understand that just because someone attends college, that does not guarantee anything for them except being in debt for a long time. Don't guarantee that. The only thing you got, and I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it. And just don't pattern your child to just go to college and get a job. Push them to be educated. Education never ends. Can I say it again? Education never ends. Even with you, with me, education never ends. We're always learning, relearning, and unlearning. All right, school teach you how to work for money. There's a book, Robert Kiyosaki. You got to get the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's why I'm getting some excerpt from him. It's an audio book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. He shared things his rich dad taught him and things his poor dad taught him. Two different worlds. And he said, they don't teach you how to make money work for us. Landing yourself in a dream job is harder than ever. School teach you how to work for money, but they don't teach you how to make money work for you. Then either you can go to NBA or financial, whatever it is. You sit down, I say NBA, okay, game come on 9 o'clock, play up. I'll be off for 9, y'all. I love the Warriors. I love the Warriors. So they don't teach you. Why they don't teach you about money in school? I didn't learn about money in school. I didn't learn. Only thing they taught me is to work for it. They didn't teach me how to make it work for you. That's what you've got to teach your child, how to make money work for them. Why isn't personal finance taught in school? Why don't all students have access to personal finance coaches before they take out student loan? Are y'all with me? If you would have had a financial coach before going to school, you would have understood better about your what was I saying? Your student loans. These are the things that you have to go over with your kids. You have to teach them about banking. Give them, I already said in a few years, I'm going to give Ashley a debit card, just to have with her. You have to put the consciousness. If you don't teach them, you think school's teaching them something? And it's worse than ever. What Tanisha said, yes, I wish someone told me about that. Yes, I do too, Tanisha. I do too. I'm 60. In the last few years, I'm getting this stuff, but it's tremendously because it's working. It's manifesting. All right. Often the more money you make, the more you spend. That's why more money doesn't make you rich. And can I tell you something? The more money you make, the less taxes you pay. I'm a living witness. The more money you make, the less taxes you have to pay. And you want to, them rich folks, they crooks and this and that, and they don't pay taxes. Well, you have to know the game of money. The more money you have expenses, and you got expenses and stuff. Come on, somebody. But you're afraid to come out of your little personal finance box, and you're miserable. But you've settled for misery. You've settled for where you are. And I'm the mind hack. I'm trying to hack your mind. I'm trying to tell you, you don't have to stay where you are. You got to change that state of mind. Change the channel. Proverbs 13, 22 to 24. I'm going a few minutes over, but I'll be through before 9. Playoffs, come on, y'all. I don't know. I'm just saying that. Money is just an idea. Teach that to your child. They can have all the money they want. Don't teach them money is evil and this and that. Get that religious crap. And you know, people say the love of money. I love what Reverend Ike used to say, the lack of money. Why people robbing in this? It's the love of money. You know, come on, somebody. Okay, what did Tanisha say? I'm getting ready to order my youngest son a debit card to teach him, yes, how to save. We give him an allowance to teach him about saving. Thank you. If you don't teach them, who's going to teach them? If you don't expose them to the great things of life, camping, you know, walking in just expose them. It don't take a whole lot of money. Find something to do that don't, you know what I'm saying? There may be an outing tomorrow somewhere at one of the farms. Just take them. They need to air out too. They go school, home, school, home, school, home, bus, school, home, home, school, bus. That may get a little. That's it. Why you think they thinking like that? Thinking it's closed in. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children, and the wealth of sinners is stored up for the hands of the righteous. Right? You got to build something. You got to have something to leave something. So that means he wants us to have something. He wants us to leave something. A good man leaves an inheritance for what? His children's children. He wants us to have something. When it comes to money, the only skill most people know is hard work. This is what they taught us. Work hard. You make money. No. Let money work for you. Okay? Give me about 15 more minutes. If I don't close it all tonight, I'll pick up next week. Skills make you rich, not theories. Theories are a good starting point to know what you should do. When you only know what you should do, but you never really do it, those theories will never become practical. By executing on your theories, you got to develop your skills. Musician, the same thing I said. I was wondering why I don't hear all the chords like the new musician, because I haven't developed myself. I went off into ministry and psychology and all that kind of stuff that I haven't sharpened the skills for that. So I can't feel bad or compare myself to another, up-to-date musician because I haven't practiced. So you got stuff that you're accusing yourself of doing, and you sit down and think about it. Get it from another perspective. Don't just settle for how your mind bring it to you. Give it a new meaning. Ooh, I like that. I never said that before. Don't let your mind just gonna bring you stuff. But it's up to you to believe it or not to believe it. It's just thoughts that keep coming, and you believe those thoughts or you don't believe those thoughts. That's where faith starts. Faith starts in the heart, the subconscious. You feel it. Give to whatever you're dealing with that you think's a problem, give it a new meaning. People don't have the problems they think they have. It's their perception of, I believe that. That's in stone. Because I've seen it with folks. They say, you ain't got no problem. That's something in your head. Okay. We're going to go through these real quickly. Teach your child about conversation. This is number one because it permeates every area and aspect of life. This is number one because every area, because conversing with coworkers, bosses, loved ones, dates, friends, spouses, neighbor, acquaintances, etc., all require certain social norms and boundaries to observe, such as mutual respect and give and take. Teach your child how to communicate. I teach Ashley, when you talk to me, look in my eyes. Don't look down. Look in your eyes. I want you to be positive. Teach them how to conversate. Because we watch our conversation around her. And because kids, they pick up stuff now. They're more, I don't know, stuff that they try. We didn't try coming up. Okay. So I said, teach them conversation. Teach them thinking. And as we said before, and as Tanisha said about her son giving him a credit card, teach them how to handle money. Let me tell you something. That dope boy on the street, he knows how to handle money because the streets have taught him how to handle money. He didn't learn it at home. He know how to take that money and make that money make babies. He know how to re-up and keep it going. But he learned in the streets. So if you don't teach your child, the streets will teach them. That's right. If you don't transform them with new thoughts, the streets will. And it's going to start in school with the concepts and beliefs of other kids, the chatter that's constantly coming to them. That's why you've got to sit down and get in there. Take them to their favorite restaurant. Fix their favorite meal. Get them out the house. Get them out that environment. Get them out that environment. Do this weekend. Tomorrow. Take them somewhere. Get up. I know you're tired. Get your butt up. You got a responsibility. You got children that need you. Because you was in, it's not their fault. I'm going to come on in tonight. It's not their fault because you was in a crazy relationship. And now you're stuck. You're hurt. Emotional pain. And you don't even want to be bothered with them because the man done put you. That's not their fault. That's your fault. Because I don't care what you do or what relationship you get in. You keep your kids until you're married. You make sure that your kids is your top priority, not your boyfriend. He's only a boyfriend. He's only a boyfriend. I feel tonight. I just feel the talk. Some women start dating and just lose their minds. The kids there, you just lose it. They get off, and you don't even know him. But you've been lonely for some reason so long, and you want somebody. You want a husband. And let's be honest, you want some sex. I'm real. Don't care who like it. Don't care who don't like it. And many times folks don't want no marriage. They just want some good sex so they don't feel guilty. But when that's over, you're right back where you started. This is reality. Be real with your children. Let me tell you something. There are mistakes that you've made somewhere in life, and there's things that you've done somewhere in life. You may have to tell your child because you don't want them to find out from somebody in the street. Oh, I knew your mother or your father. You don't want them to find out. Let them know Mama went through some things when I was 16, 17. I went through this. Tell them. So they can have confidence that if you went through it, I can go through it. But most folks don't want to talk to their kids. They don't want to be honest. They cover up. You act like you've never done anything. That's not true. You act like you've never done wrong. And you handle your kids like you're this self-righteous. That's not reality, baby. And some of the stuff they know already, they just love you enough to cover it and go on. But that doesn't mean you condemn them and you tell all your children's business. That devil with you don't tell your children's business. You don't even tell your husband's business. You don't tell your marital problems. Y'all talk too much. You tell too much. And when it backfires on you, then you're hurt. I don't understand people. It ain't people, it's the people you deal with. And I've found in life, you don't have a whole lot of folks you deal with out here that's genuinely concerned. Let me tell you something. Look at me before I go. When you find somebody that's genuinely concerned about you and your personal development, you better hold on to them. People don't care. People are cruel. I'll be honest, even there's leaders that don't care about you. There's some that's genuine. Most of them only trying to build a kingdom for themselves. They don't care about you. You can tell the way the service is designed. They don't care about you. Teach them how to handle money and invest. Okay? One popular financial personality, I want you to write him down, Dave Ramsey. You got to get into it. I like Dave Ramsey. I like Susan All. I haven't seen her in a long time. Osmond, whatever her name. But Dave Ramsey is very good. You got to learn about these things in order to deal with people. You got to learn about them. Okay? Let's move on. We need to be equipped with the ability to think through scenarios and situations which inevitably arise. Teach them how to think. Show them when there's a problem, you show them how to handle stuff and how to keep going, even when you don't feel like going. Yes. even when you don't feel like you got to do it. Parenting is a responsibility. It's wonderful, though. I'm 60. My oldest child is 44. I think Andre's 44. My daughter's 4. So I said, Lord, help me with this. This parenting thing is a new day. It's a new this. And I need help. I need you to give me the wisdom. Teach me her personality, okay? Stay with me. Teach your child about dating and romantic relationship. You've got to teach them about dating. You don't teach them about dating. You know what they learn? They learn in school. School's going to teach them how to disrespect a girl. They're going to listen to the rap where they call them hoes and bees and all this. And this is what they hear. So the boy doesn't know how to treat a girl like a lady, because the only thing he knows is what his friends in schools are doing. You know, they dropping them. They meet them and they dropping them. They screwing them and they dropping them. They come on, somebody. He said, oh my God, Dr. Hughes, you gotta be. You gotta be. We gotta stop playing these games, these religious camouflage games. When I see it, I said, this is crazy. It's not reality. It's not reality. That position you're trying to go for, that ain't about nothing. What is that going to do for your children? What is it going to do for their future? Nothing. Nothing. This is why I backed off of social media. I got tired of hearing them lying stories that people putting on. That ain't their real stories. That's their perception of stuff. And they outdoing the other person, trying to make you feel like, and then before you know it, your mind is comparing. Okay? Teach them about their rights. I told you about teaching about dating and a romantic relationship. Nevertheless, we can all agree that the aspects of life is very valuable. For this is the very first step in falling in love. Let them know, don't fall in love, walk in love. Let me tell you something. You teach your child not to fall in love, but to walk in love. The Bible didn't say fall in love. The scripture says, because I still believe it as a base, it's Christ awareness. It says walk. Teach them. Little Johnny or whatever. No such thing as falling in love. You walk in love. And the more you walk, the stronger it gets. I love my wife more. I fell in love with her years ago. As we go, I love her even more. So you got to realize that love grows the more you learn a person and you learn you and all of that. That's how the love grows. And then you have to let them be them. I allow my wife to be her. She has a business. Let people be themselves. You know, you may be lonely at this second, but then your mate is doing some work. That's okay. Be mature. Don't aggravate them. Teach your child about home repair and home ownership. If you don't, who will? As a homeowner, potentially costly repairs and replacement of home. Don't let them get a home and all this stuff start coming up and they trying to figure out. Teach them how, as they get old enough. Well, I've got AAA, but I'm still going to teach her how to change a tire. That's important. Just because she's a girl, I want her to be independent. And those of you got daughters, you teach them independent. Don't teach the baby just the right man gonna come. Don't you do that, because it ain't happened to you. So why are you putting that on them? You done been through some bad stuff, so don't put that on them. Just get a good man and you good. That's not true. That's why I said that. People say, well, just get Jesus and everything is fine. That's not true. You got to go through personal development. You got to go through yourself. That's why I tell people, don't tell people that. Don't tell your loved one, you going through what you're going through because you ain't got God, because you ain't saved. Stop that ignorant mess. And then they get saved and they still going through. What are you going to tell them then? Tell people the truth. Coming to him would make it easier, help you understand you and understand life. Doesn't mean there's not going to be offenses. Offenses will come. And I've made the mistake of doing the same thing in church, telling, listen, you're going through what you're going through because you don't have God. Don't tell your child that. That doesn't win them. That pushes them even further away from religion. Because first of all, teach them that Christ lives in you. You ask Ashley, where does God live? She's going to say, in me. Again, you may not be the one to reach them. Could be somebody in California, wherever they may be, but you trust God that you watered, you planted other folks in their lives with water. But what techniques you're saying, Dr. You see them saved. And this, see, teaching like this, you don't get high numbers. People want to be entertained. They want to be prophesied to. I'm a seer, but I've grown. If I see something, I share it. But that's not my priority. That's not my priority is to teach you how to think and make some things happen for yourself. That you're not depending on no outside source, even myself. You're not depending on no outside source. You're getting information, you're getting tools, but if it's going to be, it's up to me. If it's going to be, it's up to you. Family, I love y'all. Don't run from revival to revival and from one preacher online to another preacher online because you see somebody. If I start prophesying, y'all, numbers go up. Way up. I'm dealing with mature people. That's why I appreciate you all. Family, I really appreciate you all supporting my company. And many of you on every single week. The mental morning, I get confused, morning mental wake up. If I don't, you say I don't do, let me tell you, if I don't send you one, remind me because I don't do group texting. I hate group texting because it's going on all day long. Somebody make a comment, then it goes. I've got a few friends that I admire that I kind of stay with theirs. But I don't do it because I started doing it. My daughter, Aisha, said, Daddy, I don't like group texting. Take me out. And I said, okay, I won't do that. So if I missed you, just let me know. I go through my mind. I start off in the mornings, many people I just go through. So sometimes I can forget. So if I forget to send you one, let me know. Okay, teach about home repair, homeowners. I got a few minutes, y'all. Playoffs coming on. Vehicle maintenance, repair, insurance. Teach them about personal credit and credit cards. Teach them how to cook. Before I go, teach them how to cook. The boys and the girls, sons and daughters. Tell that boy, come here. I'll watch my mother. I'll watch my grandmother. I'll watch my great-grandmother. And my wife would tell you, I love cooking. I'm doing good. I'm trying to mess up a little bit, but I don't stop. It took me 6 tries, y'all, to finally get the candy apple thing right, but I got it right because I was determined not to be defeated. And it was one little thing that I was trying to do with the temperature of my own, and it wouldn't come out right. And I had to buy a candy thermometer, and it came out right. So now what I've been trying to do, I've been trying to bake cakes. I tried to do the Swan homemade cake. It was a mess. I didn't stop. So I said, I'm going to try the box cake. I tried the lemon cake, and it came out good on the outside, but inside but I don't stop. I'm going to make another one. I made brownies, and it was hard as a brick. I don't know what went wrong. I made some brownies the other day. They were soft, but the next day they was hard. I'm going to try it again. You see what I'm saying? And I love cooking. I love cooking. I tell my wife, you want breakfast this morning? We'll get up and cook. I love it. Teach your sons and daughters how to cook. Put it in them. You're going to cook a whole meal. We're going to the stove. You're going to cook this meal. Okay? So that boy knows he don't have to get a wife to learn how to cook. He can cook on his own. Learning how to cook and how to handle household duties are gone with the era of taking home. I mentioned home economics. Teach them the word. Teach them truth, not religion, not denomination or dogmas, but teach them the Christ already. Teach them that Christ lives in you and that you can be what you want to be. You can do what you want to be. You can have what you can do what you want to do, have what you want to have. But teach them that Jesus Christ lives in you. Don't show them the picture of that sky god of Jesus coming down and then you show you. If y'all got a picture in y'all house talking about that's Jesus, get that out your house. That ain't Jesus. That was Michelangelo's brother that sat there while he drew it. That ain't Jesus. And the picture of Jesus, that ain't him. Oh, it's so far off. The Catholics had a thing of St. Christopher for divine protection, and it was a myth. Come to find out he wasn't really lived years ago, but he wasn't a saint for that. We'll have to re-examine what we've got. I got ready to go. Now I'm going to do something. Teach them manners. Manners are indispensable in civilized society, and using them properly will make good impression with family, our significant in-laws, friends, teachers, bosses, acquaintances, etc. A etiquette class are a thing of the past. Likewise, manner. Get some etiquette books. Teach your sons and daughters etiquette. Teach them. You got to pour into your child. If you're married, I understand, but make sure there's one family. If you had kids previous to your husband, okay, it's not you and your kids and you and him, or you and your kids and him and you and y'all kids together. No, it's one family. And when you're dealing with somebody, let them know it's one family. It's one family. If you got 6 kids, sometimes a real man don't care about that as long as they're manable. My coming up, I dated a woman that had 7 kids. But they were all manable. It blew my mind. I said, oh my God. She said, I got 7 kids. Up, time to go. 7 kids, gone, I'm gone. But there was something about it. I wanted to see something. They were all there. Hello, Mr. Hughes. Hey, Mr. Darrell. I said, oh, okay, that's cute. And that's important. That's important to train your child that if adults talking, you know, the old stuff they taught us, we didn't get in grown, y'all help me. We didn't get in grown folks' conversation. We couldn't even sit looking and making a comment. Bet not. You bet not. I automatically knew when guests came, get to stepping. They didn't have to tell me, all right, Darrell, I automatically knew. Sometimes I'm like, oh, Lord. And I never got in their conversations. And we were taught things that now that this generation feel that they don't want to teach their children. Teach them how to find and actually get it, in workplace, but teach them beyond a job. You may have to get it. Don't teach them go to McDonald's, Burger King. Don't get them that mindset. That's why, can I tell you something? It's important that you become an entrepreneur. A good man leaves an inheritance. For it's important that you become an entrepreneur so they can get the entrepreneur mindset, and then you can say, okay, you're 19, this is your business. You can't wait until they get there and try to get them a mindset entrepreneur. It doesn't work because it happens many times with businesses and the parents die and the kids just blow the business up. Okay. Teach them health care. Teach them about health insurance. Sit down telling me these are the real world. Oh, I forgot. Teach them about manners. Teach them about gun safety, the importance of gun safety. Teach them about gun. This is where we are. They need to know. AK-47, they need to know the danger of that gun and the positiveness of that gun. NRA is a great company. It's a great company. Wonderful company. That people often criticize the NRA. This and that. Great company. They just producing what they're producing. And if people abuse it, it's not their fault. Okay, just about, I got 5 minutes, y'all. Game come on. Teach them about self-defense. When they get a certain age, let them go to self-defense classes. They won't be bullied. I told Ashley, when you get 5, you'll learn how to swim, and you go to self-defense classes. Because down the road, you're not going to have to worry about being bullied. Okay? Teach them about first aid. Teach them about health care. Teach them about CPR. Your child should know about CPR. So if something happened in the house, they know what to do. How many of your children know about CPR? School might have taught them, but you got to make sure they know for yourself. Suppose something happened to you in the house. They don't know that you can, so many preventive things that we can do to make it. People die before their time. Yes, they die before their time. Teach your child CPR. Come in. We're going to go to CPR classes. So if something happens, you know what to do. Okay, now this is what I do. Okay, teach them about time management. Teach them about local laws. Okay. All right. So this whole school system needs to be redone, and the way they train, the way they teach children. Okay. Teach them financial education. Give them financial literacy. Teach them that. All right. This is what I do. Twice a month, I ask people that enjoy the lecturing, the teaching, to support our company. And I want about all the platforms, I want about 20 people that would plant a seed tonight of 2022. I'm going to give you the information. What am I got here? Okay, I'm going to give you, you want to do the, okay, if you want to do the, because somebody just said they wanted to sow, they want to support. If you, okay, if you want to do the Cash App, that's there. If you want to do the Zelle or something, there's the information that's there. It's wonderful. I need about 20. Come on, y'all. $20.22. If you enjoy the teachings and personal development, even in the mornings. Thank you. Thank you. People supporting. I thank you so much. 2022, $20.22 for this year to support our company and what we are trying to do. With the QR code, you just put your phone up, your camera, and it goes there, okay? I don't do this too long. I'm going to keep it up for just a few minutes. Before I go, I'm going to keep the information there for just a few minutes, okay? All of you. Hey, Serene, I didn't see you come on. Sheila, listen, y'all, if you come on and I don't say nothing because I can't see all five, let me come over here, that I can't see all five platforms, but I thank God, your family. And I do this every week, every morning to hack your minds, to transform you. Okay. Okay, could be more to give the 2022, but I want you to do this. We're family, we're connected. I come to you every morning. I only ask for offerings twice a month. That's all, for donation for the company twice a month. That's it. I don't come on begging. I don't knock that if somebody else do it. I don't knock with nobody. Every man has to run his own race. Our company, we don't do that, but we'll ask for donation twice a month. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave that up. It's been a wonderful, wonderful night that I've enjoyed so much. I'll be back on Friday. I'm D. Leonard Hughes. I'm president and CEO of the Personal Development Institute and Coaching Company, saying I've enjoyed you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I'm going to leave this up, those who want to give a donation. Okay? Until next time.